the internet. It's a network of computers from all around the globe connected by wires. Like, literally, the internet is just a bunch of thick cables that run at the bottom of the ocean along with facilities like internet service providers that connect you to your destination. These computers communicate with the Internet Protocol Suite. Every computer on the network has a unique IP address, and two computers can then transfer data with a transmission control protocol. It breaks messages into a bunch of packets, sends them through a network of wires before the receiving end puts the message back together. If you have a poor internet connection, you might have experienced packet loss, which is just if some of these packets get lost along the way. If the internet is the hardware, then the web is the software, which you can use with a browser. Every page on the web has a URL. When you type it into your browser, it looks up the IP address of the server hosting this website with a domain name system, which is like a dictionary mapping domain names to IP addresses of actual servers. After connecting to it via TCP, your browser, called the client, uses the Hypertext Transfer Protocol to send an HTTP request to the server, which then gives a response, ideally containing the contents of the web page. The actual website most often consists of three parts. An HTML file contains all the content of a website and is basically just a collection of elements, which can be text, links, buttons, and so on. A CSS file controls the visuals and makes a website look nice. But a website is useless if pressing nice-looking buttons does nothing, so a language like JavaScript adds functionality. But sometimes, things can go wrong. With every HTTP response comes a response code, which carries information about the status of the response. For example, 200 means OK, and anything starting with 4 is an error, the most famous one being 404 page not found. HTTP requests can carry different methods, for example get, post, put, and delete, so retrieve, add, update, and delete information. These are often used by application programming interfaces, which connect two applications and allow them to interact with each other, for example store and retrieve data from a database. The most common type of database is a relational database, which uses tables to store data. Columns of a table contain different attributes, and rows represent individual data points. Also, each table has one unique attribute called the primary key. A foreign key is the primary key of another table, establishing a relationship between the two. In this case, each book is connected to an author. With a language like SQL, you can write statements to work with data from these tables. You could look up the titles and authors of all books whose title starts with an H, but for that we have to join the authors table with the books table on the matching key to combine two attributes from different tables into one, giving us this output. These statements are useful, but you gotta be careful or you might just delete an entire database with one line of code. But don't worry, that's never happened before. Behind every login page is a database with usernames and passwords. When a user tries to log in, an SQL query is often used to check if the user input matches with an entry in the database. That's good, but a devious actor could type something like this, which changes the query by terminating the string early and commenting out the rest, which means as long as this username exists in the database, access is granted. This is called an SQL injection attack, and it's one of the easiest ways hackers get places they're not supposed to. Hearing about these concepts is one thing, but to really learn them, you have to see them in action and use them yourself, which is